This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Christine Wedge from Alpena County Library. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Nancy. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
I know that you've had a busy winter season. Now we're gearing up for spring and summer programs, and I know things are happening there. For example, tutor training.
That's right. You know, our READ program is really touching a lot of lives now, really building a reading community, and those kinds of programs go in a seesaw. Sometimes you have more tutors and not as many learners, and then you have more learners and you need more tutors, and that's where we are.
Yay!
So we do have a 3-day training session. They're just evening sessions from 5 to 8:45. We will explain to you exactly how to reach the people who need help with their reading. Those 3 sessions are mandatory, and a light dinner is included. And then once you're trained, you can meet with an individual who needs help reading or who needs help learning English as a second language, and you can set up the time between the two of you. So it's a couple hours a week commitment, really a way to give back to the community if you have the time. And if you love to read, it's a great way to share that joy.
And it's May 14th, 15th, and 20th.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
And you can just give the library a call and sign up for the training and talk to the READ folks if you have any questions about how that program works. But it is terrific that you meet right at the library and you really can kind of set your own schedule.
Okay. Kinder Music is coming back.
Kinder Music is coming back. It's a terrific program, ages 0 to 4. Really just rhythmic education, which sounds kind of boring, but what it is shakers and songs and dances, and so the children really love it. And there is research that shows that if you expose children 0 to 4 to those types of stimulus, it actually kind of hardwires their brain for success in math and reading.
Wow.
So it's hard to think why you wouldn't want to do that. Most Kinder Musics run on a 6 to 8 week basis of a series of classes, and every once in a while the library is able to offer a free class, so you can just try it out without any obligation. We do only have a limited number of spots. It is for ages 0 to 4 with a parent or guardian, 1 hour from 11 to 12 on Saturday the 17th. And you do need to register in advance.
Jewish Heritage.
The library is really, our Special Collections Department is really working to make sure that people have a chance to learn about some of the cultural traditions that are around us and we might not know as much about. So we've had things like Norwegian heritage and Polish heritage programs, and now we've asked Dr. Greg Resnick to give us a program on Jewish culture and heritage. And I think that'll really be fascinating. I know a lot of people who have a little bit of information about Judaism and what those cultures are like and what some of the traditions mean, but I know myself I'd be really interested to hear some more.
And that's May 19th at 6:30.
That's right, and Greg's a terrific speaker.
He is.
It'll be very interesting.
Computer classes are coming back.
Computer classes for seniors are coming back. Our tech coordinator, Nancy, said, I get the same concerns from seniors that they need a little bit more time with some stuff and a little bit less time on other things. I'm going to have special classes just to go right at the pace that they want to go at.
Perfect.
So she's offering 2 sessions, and they start early in June. So I really want to mention it today because those spots fill up quickly. There is a modest fee for them. You can call the library at 356-6188 for more information and to sign up, get all the exact dates of the sessions. The great news on that is thank you very much to the Community Foundation for Northeast Michigan and to the Friends of the Library who made it possible for us to buy a brand new computer mobile lab with Windows 8 computers. So if you're seeing a lot of touchscreen thing and you want some more experience with that, that's what those computers do.
And there's a $5 charge.
There is a modest charge for the classes, and it really covers us so that people come when they say they're going to come, and so that covers us for materials and things.
Perfect. Okay, Michigan notable book author.
Michael Shoemaker is coming back. He was here in Alpena a few years ago to talk about his book called The Wreck of the Carl D., which talked about the Carl D. Bradley that went down with an awful lot of hands from Rogers City. That was a very affecting incident for that community, and he wrote a book about it. And now he's back on the Michigan Notable Books list with a book about the Great Storm of 1913.
Ooh.
And this book is called November's Fury. Michael has written a lot of books, I think 14 books, several of which are about Great Lakes maritime heritage. And he'll be back in town to talk about that. We're awfully grateful to the Library of Michigan
yes.
for telling us about these authors and giving us a chance to bring them to our communities.
And that's June 5th at 6:30.
June 5th at 6:30, completely free and open to the public.
Okay, wonderful. And Summer Book Club.
The great news about Summer Book Club this year is we are going to try holding the carnival, which is in July, at the Aplex.
Yay!
We've really loved the fairgrounds. I mean,
Well,
it's a
they've been good
tradition
to you.
in
Yes.
people's memories. They have, they go back in their minds to all the years that we've been at the fairgrounds, and we do love it. But boy, we just can't get the date right on the heat. We have picked the hottest day of summer, I think 4 out of the past 5 years, and some of our volunteers said, it's really just too hot for me. And of course, we're worried about the children too. So this year we decided we will try having it at the Aplex, which is air conditioned.
Yay.
So if you have volunteered in the past and thought, man, I just can't take the heat, this is your chance to help build a reading community and do it in air conditioning.
And it kicks off on June 17th with a picnic and a magic show. And what's the theme this year?
The theme this year is Fizz Boom Read, so kind of a science and technology theme. That'll be fun. And we're kicking off with the picnic like we usually have, and this time we're joining it up with a magic show as well. So that'll be a really great way to get it started. We will need volunteers in the library to, kids come in and they want to report on the books that they've read, and we need people for that. But the carnival won't be till July 16th, and we are already taking sign-ups for volunteers for that as well.
Perfect. And then we have about 1 minute left, Pushing the Limit, and it's a book discussion.
Right. It's a series of 4 book discussions. The first one will be held May 20th, and it is a book about invasive species, and it is a novel about invasive species. So when you think book discussion about science, I don't know if I'm interested. This is for people who love to read fiction. So T.C. Boyle wrote a book called When the Killing's Done. Jim Schaefer, a former science educator here in Alpena, is going to moderate a discussion about this book and how they've dealt with invasive species in that story and the invasive species that we confront right here in our own community.
Oh, yes. All right, wonderful.
That'll really be interesting.
Okay, and if anyone has any questions, they can call 356-6188.
Right.
Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you next month.
Thanks, Nancy.
Please stay tuned. I'll be right back following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joyton, president of Alpena Community College. My guest this morning, Mr. Jerry Doyle, of the Association of Lifelong Learners. Welcome to the show, Jerry.
Thank you, Dr. Joyton.
And just to get started, what's the Association of Lifelong Learners all about?
Well, the Association of Lifelong Learners is an organization that started roughly, I think, 18 years ago in Alpena in '96. And it was really started with the prompting of the college and a number of individuals, some of them who are still serving on our board, are still with us. And the idea being is to get people involved, both physically and mentally. I mean, if we listen to all the experts today, they certainly tell us that one of the things in retirement you need to do is to keep active. And our organization does allow that opportunity for people to continue to be active, both mentally and physically.
Well, that's great. And you are, I believe, transitioning from the president of the board. Mark Kinney is going to be the next leader. Is that correct?
Well, that was the original plan, but Mark was asked to put that on hold for another year, so I may end up being president for another year.
Well, thank you for your service. And my wife and I are active members, and we really appreciate the work that you do. And as president of the college, you fulfill a very important part of our mission. In fact, our mission statement says lifelong learning in it. And so thank you very much for your leadership and the organization, too, for how it brings people along, both physically and mentally. Now, why don't we start with the physical part? What kind of opportunities for the members does the organization offer for fitness and activities outdoors and so on?
Well, we do a number of different programs. I mean, in the summer we have a couple bike tours that we do. One at Black River, usually one up in the Rogers City maybe area, that type of thing. We also have in the past done programs with kayaking and canoeing. We also do hiking. We have a group that hikes on a regular basis in the summer.
That's great.
And you know, that keeps people active. And we also have coming up a program this summer It'll be a first year, but we're going to teach people to sail.
Wonderful. Maybe I should take that class myself, because the last time I was out sailing on Long Lake, I tipped my boat over. Maybe I should learn how to do it right. Let's see, is there going to be an ALL lacrosse team getting organized, or is that just a rumor?
That's got to be a rumor. I haven't heard anything about organizing a lacrosse team at this point in time.
Well, that's great. And then a lot of people also have benefited from going to the lectures and presentations that are designed for mental stimulation. About 160 or so programs a year of that nature, is that correct?
Yeah, it varies. I mean, it can go anywhere from 120 a year to 160, even up as high as 180 in some years. The idea being, and we don't like to call them classes, because I think classes have a tendency to intimidate some people. You know, we don't want to think of ourselves as having to take tests and whatever.
Well, no homework.
No homework and no
unless you inflict it upon yourself, right?
That's
you
correct.
get interested in something and then you want to study it further, and no examinations.
Well, Dr. Joyton's a good example. I mean, he's one of the individuals that presents for us on a regular basis in the area of philosophy. And I remember asking him a question one time, and he said, "I'll tell you what, Jerry, I'm not sure what the answer is, but you look that up for us and get back to us and let us know."
I don't remember that you ever fulfilled that, too.
I'm not sure I did.
You still owe me one on that. But yes, it's all for the love of learning, personal interest classes, and it's always been a pleasure for me to stay in touch with my teaching field while I'm doing administrative work by preparing for the philosophy presentations. Not classes, but presentations for the ALL, and I always get such a good response. And you and I have been to a couple of recent ones that were quite interesting. Thane Witzel, account of his bicycle trip across the United States.
Yeah, he took a bicycle trip from coast to coast. Took him 77 days. He and Bob Brady, another individual. And then the interesting thing about Thane is that he is a photographer. Really, he's a semi-professional, but he appears to be a professional photographer. His program was just tremendous.
Well, and what a feat of courage and endurance he went to, and he made it so entertaining. I remember the story of the 90-year-old lady who just couldn't wait to show him her tattoo, and she had to hike up her skirt in order to do that. That was a riot. And then also, you and I were at a presentation recently with Joe Gentry, a trustee of the college, vice president for First Federal, on the subject of economics.
Yes, and Joe is a regular presenter for us. And you know, if you have any interest in economics or how business and I won't only say business, but government work together, etc., and how things are decided on a government level, it's interesting to go to Joe's programs, because he has good insight, and Joe's an interesting individual from the standpoint of how he describes himself. I mean, he says, yeah, I'm a banker, but I'm an economist, I'm a teacher. Joe has done a lot of things in life, and I worked with Joe for a number of years, and he's a very enlightening individual, and a person that really keeps up on things and what's going on.
He is indeed, and I've enjoyed participating in the Dork Brothers races that he's worked so hard to continue. He's always sending me articles from the Wall Street Journal or other publications relating to our businesses at ACC. Very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about how people join ALL in order to gain access to these presentations and activities.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, we regularly have about 300 participants or 300 members on an annual basis. Right now we're running a special. We're always trying to encourage more people to get involved with our organization, and we're offering a special. You get 14 months of membership for the cost of 12 months. Cost for an individual is $50, for a couple is $90, and for a family that lives at the same address, $110 a year. So right now you can get from May of this year, 2014, May 1, starting tomorrow, and membership through June of 2015 for those dollar amounts.
That's great. And the Association of Lifelong office is in the Madeline Briggs University Center building, which is the eastern edge of Van Laer Hall.
That's correct.
Over towards the hospital, small building there. And we need to conclude now, but thank you very much for your service to ALL and for being on the program today.
And please feel free to call us or call the college and just ask for the AAL office.
That's right.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.